Good morning. I'm going to start with a prayer by Bahá'u'lláh. Suffer me, O my God, to draw nigh unto thee, and to abide within the precincts of thy court. For remoteness from thee hath well nigh consumed me. Cause me to rest under the shadow of the wings of thy grace. For the flame of my separation from thee hath melted my heart within me. Draw me nearer unto the river that is life indeed. For my soul burneth with thirst in its ceaseless search after thee. My sighs, O my God, proclaim the bitterness of mine anguish, and the tears I shed attest my love for thee. I beseech thee by the praise wherewith thou praisest thyself, and the glory wherewith thou glorifiest thine own essence, to grant that we may be numbered among them that have recognized thee, and have acknowledged thy sovereignty in thy days. Help us then to quaff, O my God, from the fingers of mercy, the living waters of thy loving kindness, that we may utterly forget aught else except thee, and be occupied only with thyself. Powerful art thou to do as thou willest. Thou art verily the Almighty, the help in peril, the self-subsisting. Glorified be thy name, O thou who art the King of all kings. I know not, O my God, what the fire is, which thou didst kindle in thy land. Earth can never cloud its splendor, nor water quench its flame. All the peoples of the world are powerless to resist its force. Great is the blessedness of him that hath drawn nigh unto it, and heard its roaring. Some, O my God, thou didst through thy strengthening grace enable to approach it, whilst others thou didst keep back, by reason of what their hands have wrought in thy days. Whoso hath hasted toward it, and hath attained unto it, hath in his eagerness to gaze on thy beauty yielded his life in thy path, and ascended unto thee, wholly detached from aught else besides thee. I beseech thee, O my Lord, by this fire, which blazeth and rageth in the world of creation, to rend asunder the veils which have hindered me from drawing nigh unto thee, and from appearing at the door of thy gate. From appearing before the throne of thy majesty, and from standing at the door of thy gate. Do thou ordain for me, O my Lord, every good thing thou didst ordain, that it send down in thy book, and suffer me not to be removed far from the shelter of thy mercy. Powerful art thou to do what pleaseth thee. Thou art verily the all-powerful, the most generous. Another prayer by Bahá'u'lláh. From the sweet scented streams of thine eternity, give me to drink, O my God, and from the fruits of the tree of thy being, enable me to taste, O my hope. From the crystal springs of thy love, suffer me to quaff, O my glory, and beneath the shadow of thine everlasting providence, let me abide, O my light. Within the meadows of thy nearness, before thy presence, make me able to roam, O my beloved, and at the right hand of the throne of thy mercy, seat me, O my desire. From the fragrant breezes of thy joy, let a breath pass over me, O my goal, and into the heights of the paradise of thy reality, let me gain admission, O my adored one. To the melodies of the dove of thy oneness, suffer me to hearken, O resplendent one. And through the spirit of thy power and thy might, quicken me, O thou who art my, O my provider. Through the spirit in the spirit of thy love, keep me steadfast, O my succorer, and in the path of thy good pleasure, set firm my steps, O my maker. Within the garden of thine immortality, before thy countenance, let me abide forever. O thou who art my origin and my highest wish. And unto the day star and upon the throne of thy glory establish me, O thou who art my possessor. To the heaven of thy loving kindness lift me up, O my quickener, and unto the day star of thy guidance lead me, O thou my attractor. Before the revelations of thine invisible essence, summon me to be present, O thou who art my origin and my highest wish, and unto the essence of the fragrance of thy beauty, which thou wilt manifest, cause me to return, O thou who art my God. Potent art thou to do what pleaseth thee. Thou art verily the Almighty. Thou art verily potent art thou to do what thou willest. Thou art verily the most exalted, the all-glorious, the all-highest. Sorry for all the mistakes. I'm just really tired this morning. Create in me a pure heart, O my God, and renew a tranquil conscience within me, O my hope. Through the Spirit of power, confirm thou me in thy cause, O my best beloved. And by the light of thy glory, reveal unto me thy path, O thou the goal of my desire. Through the power of thy transcendent might, lift me up to the heaven of thy holiness, O source of my being, and by the breezes of thine eternity gladden me, O thou who art my God. Let thine everlasting melodies breathe tranquility on me, O my companion, and let the riches of thine ancient countenance deliver me from all except thee, O my Master. And let the tidings of the revelation of thine incorruptible essence bring me joy, O thou who art the most manifest of the manifest, and the most hidden of the hidden. Good morning, Michelle. Would you like to come on camera? Do you want to share a prayer or a good morning song? Here's another prayer by Bahá'u'lláh. He is the gracious, the all-bountiful. O God, my God, thy call hath attracted me, and the voice of thy pen of glory awakened me. The stream of thy holy utterance hath enraptured me, and the wine of thine inspiration entranced me. Thou seest me, O Lord, detached from all things but thee, clinging to the cord of thy bounty and craving the wonders of thy grace. I ask thee by the eternal billows of thy loving kindness and the shining lights of thy tender care and favor, to grant that which shall draw me nigh unto thee and make me rich in thy wealth. My tongue, my pen, my whole being testify to thy power, thy might, thy grace, and thy bounty. That thou art God, and there is none other God but thee, the powerful, the mighty. I bear witness at this moment, O my God, to my helplessness and thy sovereignty. my feebleness, and thy power. I know not that which profiteth me or harmeth me. Thou art verily the all-knowing, the all-wise. Do thou decree for me, O Lord my God and my Master, that which will make me feel content with thine eternal decree, and will prosper me in every world of thine. Thou art in truth the gracious, the bountiful. Lord, turn me not away from the ocean of thy wealth and the heaven of thy mercy, and ordain for me the good of this world and hereafter. Verily thou art the Lord of the mercy seat, enthroned in the highest. There is none other God but thee, the one, the all-knowing, the all-wise. Another prayer by Bahá'u'lláh. O Lord, make thy beauty to be my food, and thy presence my drink, and thy pleasure my hope, and praise of thee my action, and remembrance of thee my companion. And the power of thy sovereignty my succorer, and thy habitation my home, and my dwelling place, the seat thou hast sanctified from the limitations imposed upon them who are shut out, as by a veil from thee. Thou art verily the Almighty, the All-Glorious, the Most Powerful. Here's some more prayers by Baha'u'lláh. Lauded be thy name, O Lord my God. I am thy servant, who hath laid hold on the cord of thy tender mercies, and clung to the hem of thy bounteousness. I entreat thee, by thy name whereby thou hast subjected all created beings, both visible and invisible, and through which the breath that is life indeed was wafted over the entire creation, to strengthen me by thy power, which hath encompassed the heavens and the earth, and to guard me from all sickness and tribulation. I bear witness that thou art the Lord of all names, and the ordainer of all that may please thee. There is none other God but thee, the Almighty, the All-Knowing, the All-Wise. Do thou ordain for me, O my Lord, what will profit me in every world of thy worlds. Supply me then with what thou hast written down for the chosen ones among my creatures, whom neither the blame of the blamer, nor the clamor of the infidel, nor the estrangement of such as have withdrawn from thee, hath deterred from turning towards thee. Thou truly art the help in peril. through the power of thy sovereignty. No God is there save thee, the Almighty, the most powerful. Oh my God, the God of bounty and mercy. Thou art that King by whose commanding word the whole creation hath been called into being. And thou art that all-bountiful one, the doings of whose servants have never hindered him from showing forth his grace. Nor have they frustrated the revelations of his bounty. Suffer this servant, I beseech thee, to attain unto that which is the cause of his salvation in every world of thy worlds. Thou art verily the Almighty, the most powerful, the all-knowing, the all-wise. This is another one of my favorite prayers. He is the prayer hearing, prayer answering God. By thy glory, O beloved one, thou giver of light to the world, the flames of separation have consumed me, and my waywardness hath melted my heart within me. I ask of thee by thy most great name, O thou the desire of the world and the well-beloved of mankind, to grant that the breeze of thine inspiration may sustain my soul, that thy wondrous voice may reach my ear, that my eyes may behold thy signs and thy light, as revealed in the manifestations of thy names and thine attributes. O thou within whose grasp are all things, thou seest, O Lord my God, the tears of thy favored ones shed because of their separation from thee, and the fears of thy devoted ones in their remoteness from thy holy court. By thy power that swayeth all things, visible and invisible, it behooveth thy loved ones to shed tears of blood for that which hath befallen the faithful at the hands of the wicked and the oppressors on the earth. Thou beholdest, O my God, how the ungodly have compassed thy cities and thy realms. I ask thee by thy messengers and thy chosen ones, and by him whereby the standard of thy divine unity hath been implanted amidst thy servants, to shield them by thy bounty. Thou art verily the gracious, the all-bountiful. And again, I ask thee, by the sweet showers of thy grace, and the billows of the ocean of thy favor, to ordain for thy saints that which shall solace their eyes and comfort their hearts. Lord, thou seest him that kneeleth, yearning to arise and serve thee. The dead calling for eternal life from the ocean of thy favor, and craving to soar to the heavens of thy wealth. The stranger longing for his home of glory neath the canopy of thy grace. The seeker hastening by thy mercy to thy door of bounty. The sinful turning to the ocean of forgiveness and pardon. By thy sovereignty, O thou who art glorified in the hearts of men, I have turned to thee, forsaking mine own will and desire, that thy holy will and pleasure may rule within me and direct me, according to that which the pen of thine eternal decree hath destined for me. This servant, O Lord, though helpless, turneth to the orb of thy power. Though abased, hasteneth unto the dayspring of glory. Though needy, craveth the ocean of thy grace. I beseech thee by thy favor and bounty, cast him not away. Thou art verily the Almighty, the Pardoner, the Compassionate. Here's a prayer by Abdu'l-Baha. O my Lord, thou knowest that the people are encircled with pain and calamities, and are environed with hardships and trouble. Every trial doth attack man, and every dire adversity doth assail him like unto the assault of a serpent. There is no shelter and asylum for him except under the wing of thy protection, preservation, guard, and custody. O thou the merciful one, O my Lord, make thy protection my armor, thy preservation my shield, humbleness before the door of thy oneness, my guard, and thy custody and defense, my fortress and my abode. Preserve me from the suggestions of self and desire, and guard me from every sickness, trial, difficulty, and ordeal. Verily thou art the protector, the guardian, the preserver, the sufficer, and verily thou art the merciful of the most merciful. Here's another one by Abdu'l-Baha. O God, my God, fill up for me the cup of detachment from all things, and in the assembly of thy splendors and bestowals, rejoice me with the wine of loving thee. Free me from the assaults of passion and desire. Break off from me the shackles of this nether world. Draw me with rapture into thy supernal realm, and refresh me amongst the handmaidens with the breathings of thy holiness. O Lord, brighten thou my face with the lights of thy bestowals. Light thou mine eyes with beholding the signs of thine all-subduing might. Delight my heart with the glory of thy knowledge that encompasseth all things. Gladden my soul with thy soul-reviving tidings of great joy. O thou King of this world and the kingdom above, O thou Lord of dominion and might, that I may spread abroad thy signs and tokens, and proclaim thy cause, and promote thy teachings, and serve thy law, and exalt thy word. Thou art verily the powerful, the ever-giving, able, the omnipotent. Excuse me for a couple of seconds. I'm going to recite Abdu'l-Bahá's prayer for the northeastern states. If anybody has any prayer requests, please let me know now. O thou kind Lord, praise be unto thee, that thou hast shown us the highway of guidance, opened the doors of the kingdom, and manifested thyself through the Sun of reality. To the blind thou hast given sight, to the deaf thou hast granted hearing. Thou hast resuscitated the dead. Thou hast enriched the poor. Thou hast shown the way to those who have gone astray. Thou hast led those with parched lips to the fountain of guidance. Thou hast suffered the thirsty fish to reach the ocean of reality, and thou hast invited the wandering birds to the rose garden of grace. O thou Almighty, we are thy servants and thy poor ones. We are remote and yearn for thy presence. Our thirst for the water of thy fountain, are ill, longing for thy healing. We are walking in thy path and have no aim or hope, save the diffusion of thy fragrance, so that all souls may raise the cry of, O God, guide us to the straight path. May their eyes be open to behold the light. May they be freed from the darkness of ignorance. May they gather around the lamp of thy guidance. May every portionless one receive a share, and may the deprived become the confidants of thy mysteries. O Almighty, look upon us with the glance of mercifulness. Grant us heavenly confirmation. Bestow upon us the breath of the Holy Spirit, so that we may be assisted in thy service, and like unto brilliant stars shine in these regions with the light of thy guidance. Verily thou art the powerful, the mighty, the wise, and the seeing. Prayer by Bahá'u'lláh. Glorified art thou, O Lord my God. Every time I venture to make mention of thee, I am held back by my mighty sins and grievous trespasses against thee, and find myself wholly deprived of thy grace, and utterly powerless to celebrate thy praise. My great confidence in thy bounty, however, reviveth my hope in thee, and my certitude that thou wilt bountifully deal with me emboldeneth me to extol thee, to ask of thee the things thou dost possess. I implore thee, O my God, by thy mercy, that hath surpassed all created things, and to which all that are immersed beneath the oceans of thy names bear witness, not to abandon me unto myself, for my heart is prone to evil. Guard me then within the stronghold of thy protection and the shelter of thy care. I am he, O my God, whose only wish is what thou hast determined by the power of thy might. All I have chosen for myself is to be assisted by thy gracious appointments and the ruling of thy will, and to be aided with the tokens of thy decree and judgment. I beseech thee, O thou who art the beloved of the hearts which long for thee, by the manifestations of thy cause, and the day springs of thine inspiration, and the exponents of thy majesty, and the treasuries of thy knowledge, not to suffer me to be deprived of thy holy habitation, thy fane in thy tabernacle. Aid me, O my Lord, to attain his hallowed court, and to circle round his person, and to stand humbly at his door. Thou art he whose power is from everlasting to everlasting. Nothing escapeth thy knowledge. Thou art verily the God of power, the God of glory and wisdom. Praise be God, the Lord of the worlds. Okay, I'm going to recite Abdu'l-Bahá's prayer for America, which he revealed when he came to this country in 1912. He refers to our government as a just government and says that our country is worthy of God's favors and mercy. I think he certainly doesn't mean that we haven't and don't continue to perpetrate injustice. He knows that. But I think that he's praising us for having a form of government which gives the people a voice. Here's Abdu'l-Bahá's prayer for America. O thou kind Lord, this gathering is turning to thee. These hearts are radiant with thy love. These minds and spirits are exhilarated by the message of thy glad tidings. O God, let this American democracy become glorious in spiritual degrees, even as it has aspired to material degrees. And render this just government victorious. Confirm this revered nation to upraise the standard of the oneness of humanity, to promulgate the most great peace, to become thereby most glorious and praiseworthy among all the nations of the world. O God, this American nation is worthy of thy favors and is deserving of thy mercy. Make it precious and near to thee through thy bounty and bestowal. I'm going to say a prayer for children. I think I'll sing it. O Lord, I am a child. Enable me to grow beneath the shadow of thy loving kindness. I am a tender plant. Cause me to be nurtured through the outpourings of the clouds of thy bounty. O Lord, I am a sapling of the garden of love. Make me into a fruitful tree. Thou art the mighty and powerful, and thou art the all-loving, the all-knowing, the all think I'm going to go on now. We've been reading from Baha'u'llah's tablet to the true seeker. I'm going to repeat a passage from yesterday and go on. That seeker must at all times put his trust in God, must renounce the peoples of the earth, must detach himself from the world of dust, and cleave unto him who is the Lord of Lords. He must never seek to exalt himself above anyone, must wash away from the tablet of his heart every trace of pride and vainglory, must cling unto patience and resignation, observe silence, and refrain from idle talk. For the tongue is a smoldering fire, and excess of speech a deadly poison. Material fire consumeth the body, whereas the fire of the tongue devoureth both heart and soul. The force of the former lasteth but for a time, while the effects of the latter endureth a century. That seeker should also regard backbiting as grievous error, and keep himself aloof from its dominion, inasmuch as backbiting quencheth the light of the heart and extinguishes the life of the soul. He should be content with little and be freed from all inordinate desire. He should treasure the companionship of them that have renounced the world, and regard avoidance of boastful and worldly people a precious benefit. At the dawn of every day he should commune with God, and with all his soul persevere in the quest of his beloved. He should consume every wayward thought with the flame of his loving mention, and with the swiftness of lightning pass by all else save him. If anybody has any questions about anything that I'm reading or have read, post them, please. And I will see if I can answer them. Or if you have any other questions. Especially, I'm about to start reading from the Summons of the Lord of Hosts. So that could bring up a lot of questions. Or comments. Or insights. So this book, The Summons of the Lord of Hosts, is a compilation of tablets by Baha'u'lláh. Now I'm a little confused because I thought we finished it yesterday. I thought we were starting the I thought we finished the first tablet, which is Suriy-i-Ra'ís. And in this in this tablet, the Suriy-i-Ra'ís has included several letters to rulers of the world, and the last one was to Nasir-ud-din Shah, the Shah of Persia, in the 1860s when this was written. So I think we did finish it. So I'm going to start. I'll check, and if we didn't, I'll go back. But I think we're going to start with the Suriy. This is the Suriy-i-Ra'ís, and I think that means the tablet to the kings. So in this first tablet, I'm going to check this footnote here. Okay, and it says, this tablet was revealed in Arabic in honor of Haji Muhammad Ismail-i-Kashani, entitled Dabi, which means sacrifice, and Anis, companion, by Bahá'u'lláh, and addresses Ali Pasha, the Ottoman Prime Minister, referred to here as Ra'ís, which means truth. Which means chief or ruler. So, Ali Pasha, is that what we said? Ali Pasha, the Ottoman Prime Minister. Okay, so he was the Prime Minister of the Ottoman Empire. And this would have been revealed probably in the 1860s when Baha'u'lláh was in his third banishment in Adrianople. He says, "Hearken, O chief, to the voice of God, the sovereign, the help in peril, the self-subsisting. He verily calleth aloud between heaven and earth, summoning all mankind unto the scene of transcendent glory," which would be this new revelation from God that is destined to bring about the millennia-long promise of peace on earth. "Neither thy grunting, nor the barking of those around thee, nor the opposition of the hosts of the world can withhold the Almighty from achieving his purpose. The whole world hath been set ablaze by the word of thy Lord the All-Glorious, a word softer than the morning breeze. It hath been manifested in the form of the human temple." So he's saying the word of God has numerous meanings, and one of its meanings is the manifestation of God himself for each age in which he appears. So that's the human temple. So he's saying the word of God has been manifested in the form of the human temple. That is Baha'u'lláh. And through it, God hath quickened the souls of the sincere among his servants. In its inner essence, this word is the living waters by which God hath purified the hearts of such as have turned unto him, and forgotten every other mention, and through which he draweth them nigh unto the seat of his mighty name. So, this says to me that if you want your heart to be purified, if you really want that, if you want God above all else, then you must turn to the manifestation of God for the age in which you live. We have sprinkled it upon the people of the graves, and lo, they have risen up with their gaze fixed upon the shining and resplendent beauty of their Lord. So he's saying there that Baha'u'llah's grace hath been given to those around him who came from the fanatical and backward Persian Islamic nation. And from turning to them, they have been transformed from turning to him. He has, with his soul reviving tidings of great joy, he has transformed the souls of those who turn to him. And that's the power of the manifestation of God in whatever age he appears. Thou hast, O chief, committed that which hath caused Mohammed, the apostle of God, to lament in the most sublime paradise. The world hath made thee proud, so much so that thou hast turned away from the face through whose brightness the concourse on high hath been illumined. Soon shalt thou find thyself in manifest loss. Thou didst conspire with the Persian ambassador to harm me. Though I had come unto you from the source of majesty and grandeur with a revelation that hath solaced the eyes of the favored ones of God. So I just want to mention up here where he says, the world hath made thee proud, so much so that thou hast turned away from this face, through whose brightness the concourse on high hath been illumined. My understanding of what the concourse on high is, all the holy souls who have ascended unto God, who are in the next world, all the holy souls who have followed. My sense is that the concourse on high is all of the holy souls who have followed the manifestation of God for the day in which they lived. So, in other words, during Jesus' revelation, for instance, which lasted for 600 years before the next manifestation of God came, who was Muhammad. Those who recognized Jesus during that 600-year period, and then those who recognized Muhammad during his 1200-year period before the appearance of the Bab. So it's very important to recognize the manifestation of God for the age in which you live. It's important to recognize all the manifestations of God from forever, but it's very important to recognize for the age in which you live, because that's the person that brings the new teachings. And if you don't have the new teachings, you can't make as much progress spiritually. You're limited because you only have the old teachings. You have to have the new teachings, and you have to, so that you can put them into practice. So this minister, Ali Pasha, conspired with the Persian ambassador to hurt Baha'u'lláh. By God, this is the day wherein the undying fire crieth out from within all created things. The best beloved of the world is come. In other words, the promised one who's been prophesied throughout the ages to bring peace on earth have now appeared. And before all things there standeth a Moses, hearkening to the word of thy Lord, the Almighty, the All-Knowing. So he's referring to himself as a Moses. Now Moses brought the law. Moses brought the Ten Commandments. Baha'u'lláh has immeasurably expanded upon the law of God. So this is where, in addition to both of them being manifestations of God, but this is their connection also, is that they bring the law. Were we to divest ourselves of the mortal raiment which we have worn in consideration of your weakness, all that are in heaven and on earth would offer up their souls for my sake. To this thy Lord himself doth testify. None, however, can perceive it, except those who have detached themselves from all things for love of their Lord, the Almighty, the most powerful. So what he's saying is, and he says it in other places, he has the power, if he wanted to, he could cause every person on the face of the earth to recognize him. But that's not how God chooses to do it. He says, in consideration of your weakness, in consideration of our limitations, Baha'u'lláh reveals himself gradually. But it's not his essence. It's not what he could do. So he says, those who understand this are those who have really become detached. Detached from what? Detached from their emotional reactivity, detached from their ideas about reality, and open themselves to learn what reality really is from the manifestation of God. Detach themselves from their desires, their human personal desires, so that they can follow the will of God in a more nearly perfect way. He's saying that those who have done that, they understand this. They understand what Baha'u'lláh is saying, because they've given over their will. Hast thou imagined thyself capable of extinguishing the fire which God hath kindled in the heart of creation? Nay, by him who is the eternal truth, couldst thou but know it. In other words, this guy, Ali Pasha, the prime minister of the Ottoman Empire during the 1860s, he thinks he can put out this flame just like Herod thought he could put out the flame of Christ. No way. It's not going to happen. Do whatever you want. This is destined. Rather, on account of what thy hands have wrought, it blazed higher and burned more fiercely. Ere long will it encompass the earth and all that dwell therein. Thus hath it been decreed by God, and the powers of earth and heaven are unable to thwart its purpose. So this faith, this revelation from God, is destined to encompass the earth and all that dwell therein. So my advice is jump on it before everybody does, because it takes a really special person to have the courage. It's going to be a lot easier later when everybody around you is doing it. And there's great blessings for those who have that courage. Blessings that I can testify to. The day is approaching when the land of mystery, that's Adrianople, where he revealed this tablet, and what is beside it, that would be the other countries like Iran, shall be changed. Things aren't going to stay the way they've been. And shall pass out of the hands of the king. And commotion shall appear. And the voice of lamentation shall be raised, and the evidences of mischief shall be revealed on all sides, and confusion shall spread. By reason of that which hath befallen these captives at the hands of the hosts of oppression. Okay, this is a prophecy. I'm gonna go over this again. Baha'u'lláh is basically telling the Prime Minister of the Ottoman Empire in the 1860s that because of the persecution of Baha'u'lláh and the Baha'is in Iran and in the Ottoman Empire and other places, he's prophesying that the kingdoms are going to fall, that commotion is going to, that the voice of lamentation shall be raised, evidence of mischief shall be revealed on all sides, confusion shall spread by reason of that which hath befallen these captives at the hands of the hosts of oppression. And that's exactly what we're witnessing. Exactly what we're witnessing. You know, things have reasons. They have spiritual reasons. Things don't happen just out of nowhere. There's a spiritual reason for everything that happens. And we can develop our perception to begin to identify what some of these spiritual reasons are. He says, the course of things shall be altered, and conditions shall wax so grievous, that the very sands on the desolate hills will moan, and the trees on the mountain will weep, and blood will flow out of all things. Then wilt thou behold the people in sore distress. So we're not done yet. This isn't over. It's going to get worse before it gets better. I think I'm going to stop there. It's pretty heavy. But there was a question, and I want to answer that question. I want to see what it is again. Okay. Shishon is asking, what is the meaning of heavenly confirmation? I welcome others weighing in if you want to. What this means is that you have to understand that these are my computer glasses now that I'm not reading. The spiritual world, which we cannot see with our eyes, and the material world are completely intertwined with each other. They're not separate. There's a veil between them, and there's a reason why that veil exists. And I perceive that one of the reasons why that veil exists is because the fact that the veil exists, that we cannot see the spiritual world, means that we have the opportunity to develop faith. If we could see it, we wouldn't have to develop faith. Faith is the building of our souls. That's our work on this plane. So, heavenly confirmation, it can come in many different ways. It can come through things that happen on the earth plane. It can come in dreams. It can come through intuition. Intuition is very important. When I pray, I get heavenly confirmations. I get insights. I get guidance. Now, I know that's different for everybody. Now, some people, they don't get guidance and information when they pray, but they feel better. You know, maybe their guidance will come because somebody will come see them that day or something. It's different for everyone. I was going to say something about it. In order to really recognize confirmations, you know, we have to engage in the process of opening our hearts. Our hearts get shut down sometimes because of the pain that we experience in childhood. And we have to learn how to reopen, how to allow our hearts to become open so that we can have, so that our intuition will develop. And there's a very interesting book for young people. It's a Baha'i-inspired text for junior youth that talks all about confirmations. And if you remind me, I will make that available to you so that you can read more about it. Are there any other questions? Speak now, because otherwise we're going to end. Okay, I'm not seeing anything. Okay, so I'm going to pray for us. I pray that we begin to experience heavenly confirmations, and we begin to recognize them. And we begin to understand that nothing is an accident, that everything is connected, that we're in this world for one reason and one reason only, and that's to develop spiritually. And so the more we address ourselves toward that, the more we will begin to see the connections between things. I pray that we will be able to control our reactivity today. I pray that we will rise above our judgments of others. I pray that we will all learn to go inside and examine our attitudes toward other people and humble ourselves and honor each other and honor truth and speak truth. I pray that our words may reflect truth, the truth that comes from our own souls, that we may honor our words, and that we may honor each other through our words. And I hope that you have a blessed day and that inspiration comes to you today. I'm going to end. Oh, whoops, I see that there's another question here. Okay. All right. The question is, what is intuition? Intuition is the whisperings of the Holy Spirit in your heart, or the whisperings of the spiritual world. It's a feeling that you get, a feeling like this person needs a hug. I'm going to go over and give this person a hug. Or I better not say that. Or I feel like I should really say this. Or I feel like I should go to this place today. Those are examples. And as I said, intuition comes in the heart. So this is kind of where psychotherapy comes in. Because what happens to us is our hearts get shut down. When things happen to us as children that are cruel or unfeeling, because children's hearts are open. When things happen to children, especially over a period of time, where their feelings are ignored, their hearts can become shut down because they're so hurt that they have to protect themselves. So a wall comes. And when that happens, it's hard for the intuition to get through because the intuition is within the heart. This is why psychotherapy becomes so important, because people need to be able to look at their past, their childhood, and with a skilled person begin to heal. Because what we typically do is we just build up these walls. We build up these walls against the pain in our hearts. But the walls have to come down. If we are to make spiritual progress, and if we are to develop the intuition, the walls have to come down, which means we have to be working on it. And too often when we're trying to work on it ourselves, we're just spinning our wheels. I have discovered two ways of working on it. One way is through psychotherapy, which is very valuable, extremely valuable, because you have a trained person who knows about this stuff to guide you through, so you're not just spinning your wheels. The other way is through prayer. I have been able to heal a tremendous amount through prayer, but that's because my heart has been opened, so prayer has become a way in which intuition can speak to me. But if my intuition were shut off and I'm just reciting prayers from rote, that's not going to be as effective, because it's got to engage the heart. That's why I come on to Facebook and to YouTube and do this. It's because my prayers are so much from my heart. I want to be an example of what it is to open your heart to prayer, so that other people will also learn that. That's really the main reason why I even do this. It's to help people to open their hearts. So that is my answer. And what I would say in the future, as far as if there are more questions, try to post it before I close out. In the future, it's good to post questions as soon as possible so I see them, because otherwise I don't see them, and then, then I might close out the session and not have an opportunity to answer. So I hope that is helpful. I really do welcome the questions very much. They're a really wonderful addition to what we're doing. But since I don't see any more questions, I'm going to say Allah Pa to you, which means God is most glorious. And then I'm going to say another Baha'i invocation, Ya Bahá'u'lláh, which is, O thou glory of glory.